It's called function notation. So we're going to say a function produces only one input for each input. We're going to say the set of all possible inputs is called the domain. Oh goodness. Save it or go.
We're here for student trustee elections.
Okay. Make it. And the set of all y values okay, I'm going to pick on you. How often do we talk about domain and range in this course? A lot. Like, would you say almost every day? Half the days? 3/4 of the days? But at least half or 3/4 of the days we'll talk domain and range. So this is probably fundamentally the most important thing you learn this year. Okay, there is no math involved, so which is nice. Okay, that's the beautiful part of it, right? Okay, but the concept is extremely important. So all we're saying for domain is going to be the spread of x values that are possible on a graph. Okay, range is going to be the spread of y values that are possible. It says here a function produces one output for each input. What that means is if I plug x equals 3 into a function, you're only going to get one y value out. Okay, so an example of things that are functions for equations. Functions are going to be something like y equals x squared. If I plug in 3 or 4 or negative 18, there's only one answer that comes out. Can anyone think of an example of an equation that will give you two answers when you plug in the value? If you say you don't know, we just talked about it today already, we've already seen it today.
Quadratic, where you said y is 0.
Okay, good, yes, okay, I need more than that. That is yes, but there's a certain part of the quadratic that works that way. How, have you ever seen somebody that gives you two answers? Well, yeah. Yeah, good, two the roots, exactly, right? So the example of not a function will be square root, okay? That's the roots, like that. If I take the square root of 16, there are actual two answers. Can somebody tell me the two answers for the square root of 16? What are they? Go ahead.
4 and 4.
4 and negative 4, right? So even though I only put in one answer, you're actually going to get one input, you're going to get two outputs. 99% of the equations you've seen so far like this. Okay, I can put in all sorts of them. Right, like there's tons like that you've seen that are like that. Okay. We're going to say, I give like the word examples here. I say an example of a function is like a pop machine. Okay, I put in my 75 cents or how much a pop is, I don't buy pop anymore, and I press Coke. What should I get out of that machine? A Coke, good. Let's say I put 75 cents in, I press Coke, and I get, some days I get a Pepsi, some days I get a Coke, some days I get a coffee, some days I get water. I would probably not be too happy, okay? That'd be something that would be not a function. I'm doing the same thing, I'm getting at different outputs. An example of something that wouldn't be a function would be like a gumball machine. Okay, you're getting a gumball, but you're getting that nice red gumball that you really, really wanted, and if you have a 3-year-old kid, she will want you to keep on putting quarters in until you get that one thing that you really want. Right, that's something that's not a function, because you can't predict what the output is based on the input. Okay, next we're going to talk about the vertical line. Did we get the concept there, right? Because that's the sort of the big thing I'm talking about today. Domain is the span of your x values, range is the span of your y values, and then a function is something that is one-to-one, and not a function is not one-to-one. next I'm going to talk about the vertical line test. We're going to say, on a graph, if you place a ruler vertically, and there's more than one y value, it is not a function. Okay, I'm going to go to the page here in a sec, as soon as I, so I do a few quick examples here, and we'll talk to the other issue. Okay, so I'll tell you what, I'll show you what I'm talking about for the vertical line test. This is the example. If I do a graph that looks something like this, okay, this is technically going to be a function. Okay, because as I go all the way along this graph, there's only going to be one point for every single x value. If I do something like this, that's going to be not a function. Because, like, if you take a look here, right, we have two y values for the same x value. Okay, do you see the difference there? The distinction between them? Okay, that's the idea there pictorially. Okay. Sort of okay? I'm going to pause the video and let you guys think it over, and then we'll go to the worksheet that you've given out here. So I want to save you guys time. Like I said, this isn't math heavy today, it's just logic. That's all today is. Okay. We'll get to the heavy math stuff later.